Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and with Apple Intelligence's introduction this year, Apple showed off a bunch of features. We got some of those with iOS 18.1, and now with iOS 18.2, this is the big update we've been waiting for with Apple Intelligence. Now you will need a supported device, which means an iPhone 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, or iPhone 16 series device, along with an M1 iPad or Mac. Those all support Apple Intelligence. As far as the features this time around, well, one of the big features is ChatGPT integration. We can use that directly in Siri, so if we have it enabled, that's within our settings. So if we go into our settings, go to Apple Intelligence and Siri, scroll down, you'll see ChatGPT Extension. If we go in here, we can then enable it, but we don't have to use an account. We can use an account to have an additional option here to upgrade to not have a limit, but it says daily limit if you're over a limit, but it typically just says this and you can still use it. You'll see it also gives us the option to confirm the requests. If you don't want it to ask you and just upload things to ChatGPT directly, you can turn that off, and I'll show you that in a moment. So the first thing is, if maybe we go into Siri here and then ask it maybe for a recipe for apple pie. Use ChatGPT to show me how to make an apple pie. It says working with ChatGPT. It takes just a moment here, and then it should come back with all of the ingredients you need and the instructions on how to actually make it. So you could ask Siri directly, so we'll do that. Show me how to make an apple pie. We'll give it a second here, and this gives you sort of a small overview, but if you say use ChatGPT, it gives you all of the instructions together. It can also tell you about what's on the display. Now I'm in the app Craft, where I've created a document about the first set of features of Apple Intelligence that I talked about before, and this particular document can be sent to ChatGPT so it understands what I'm looking at and can answer a question about it. For example, does the document I'm looking at mention anything about call recording? It gives me the option to send a screenshot of the document of what I'm looking at to ChatGPT to tell me more information. If we tap send, it can come back with more information, saying, yes, the document mentions call recording under the heading call recording. It states that call recording is listed with Apple Intelligence, but is not part of it and should be coming to iOS 18 supported devices with iOS 18.1. So this is a great feature. You can use it on anything from a Pages document to spreadsheets, or maybe you want it to find something specific. Maybe the first time you purchase something within a document and you've been looking for it, it can find specific information and give you that back. So that's a great update with that, but something else many people have been wanting has to do with image creation. We'll come back to notes in a moment, but Apple has added the option to create your own emoji. If we go into Messages, and within Messages, if we go to the emoji keyboard, and we have stickers enabled, we'll have this option for Genmoji. Genmoji allows us to create anything we want as far as an emoji is concerned. So maybe a mouse with a hat and sunglasses. We'll try sunglasses on. There we go. Let's get rid of that, and you'll see it's already created it, but without the sunglasses. So there we go. Now we have a mouse with sunglasses. You can create pretty much anything you can think of. Then in the upper right, we have some options to copy, share, save to stickers, add a caption, or report a concern. Then we'll tap add, and it drops right into our message here, and we can send it. So if we want to do that, we can create whatever we'd like. We also have the option to create images. You can see this one of a lighthouse above. If we go into the plus button on the left, we have Image Playground. Image Playground is a separate app I'll show you in a moment, where we can create maybe a picture of myself with a beanie on with mountains in the background. It gives suggestions, creates this for you, and then you have the option to swipe through some different options here that it gives you. So you'll see one here. If you like it, go ahead and tap done. Then it drops it into the image itself or the message itself so that you can send the image. So that's something they've upgraded along with the actual Image Playground app that they've added. So if we go into that, you can see there's the one I just created. There we go. The images came back, and you can create whatever you'd like. So you'll see here's a couple options here where I created a race car in the rain on a track, a lighthouse. How about myself? And then we can describe the image standing on the beach, and we'll have it come back and see what it does. Now it adds it to this image. It will create it, and you can see I'm on the beach. However, I'm not crazy about the way this is actually generating photos. And the reason is everything is cartoony and generic. You cannot use a name brand, such as Nintendo, or maybe you wanted to use a TV, or a Ferrari, or a Porsche. It will not allow you to do that. It will actually give you an error. So for example, if we go back and create a new one, maybe a Porsche next to a house. So something very simple. It says unable to use that description. It will not let you use name brands, but you can create anything else you can think of that's not something that's been attached to a brand. So maybe myself at a stadium with a farmer hat on, you can go in and go to show more, and we have a bunch of options for themes, costumes, accessories, places, and then anything else you can think of as well. Again, I'm not crazy about the way it looks, but this is the options it's giving you. So hopefully they'll update this in the future, but let me know what you think of Image Playground in the comments below. Along with this, we also get some other image creation tools that work best on iPad. If I move these out of the way and we go over to the iPad, if we go into Notes, you'll see I have a quick sketch that I made of a flower. Now, it's not the best. Maybe I want it to look a little bit better because I want to use it in a presentation. We can tap on Image Wand now at the bottom under our little writing palette tools, and then just circle it. And now we can describe what we'd like, and it will base it off that image. So just a flower. There we go, and we'll create the flower, and it will base it off that image. So it looks just like sort of the sketch I had, and then you could change it maybe to blue. We'll try that. And it should change it to a blue flower. So this gives you different options to create whatever you'd like. Again, it's going to be more of a sketch style or cartoon style, and then you have the option to use this throughout your images or share it or copy it. So again, it works really well, but it's something that you may want to use in your presentations. And to go along with that, you can even change the style of it. You'll see down at the bottom, we have the option to switch this to an illustration or base it off a photo as well. So now it looks like an illustration or an animation. Those are our only options here. So again, you can use a photo to create that or something else entirely. There we go. So it's created it again. So you have a few different options here with image creation with the latest update, and I think it'll improve in the future. Now, with the first version of Apple Intelligence, we gained some new writing tools. Apple has added even more to this with iOS 18.2 with ChatGPT integration as well. Within a note, if we go to our Apple Intelligence button, we now have the option to describe a change instead of just proofread, rewrite, make it professional or concise or friendly. We also have the option now for compose. We can compose with ChatGPT. So if we compose, we could maybe have it do something such as an outline. Tell me all the features about iOS 16 Pro Max. And you can say make a comparison. It will go out and get the information. It takes a moment to fill this in, and there we go. So here's all of the information. So it says focus mode enhancements, live text and visual lookup, messages, updates, health and fitness tracking, and more. So lots of different things that went out and grabbed this information. Now, of course, you'd want to verify yourself to make sure this is accurate, but it does give you that information. We also, again, like I mentioned before, have the option to describe a change. So if we go into another document, now within this document, you'll see it's just a new note about Apple Intelligence. If we go back to our Apple Intelligence features and describe a change, maybe we'll make this in the form of an outline. Change this to the style of an outline, please. We'll give it a second, and it will make that change. And now it's in the style of an outline, where it says Apple Intelligence features, the latest features for iOS. And if we highlight something, we of course can select it, make all of our regular changes as well. And if we tap done, go back in, highlight it again. If we're not in our Apple Intelligence tools, so we'll select, we'll now have the option to use our writing tools directly from this menu as well. So it's a nice little change to writing tools. Another big feature we get with Apple Intelligence this time around is visual intelligence. Now, unfortunately, this is only available to phones with the camera control button. For some reason, they haven't made a shortcut for it on the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max or the iPads or anything else. But if you have the camera control button, if you press and hold, you go into visual intelligence. Hopefully they'll bring this in the future to the other devices, but for some reason they haven't. If I bring in this Fujifilm X106 or VI, depending on how you want to say it, we'll tap search, and using this with visual intelligence, it will actually tell us what it is or something similar. It doesn't get it exactly correct. If we go back here and maybe ask, it will use ChatGPT to understand what it's looking at, and then it gives more information. But again, it's not recognizing that it's the next version. So it's giving us some information, but we'll have to verify if it's correct. You also can use this maybe if you're shopping or you want to know more about a store. Now, when I was out and about one day, you'll see that I took a photo of Starbucks and it actually brought up the option for order or menu based on my location. Also, you can get more information with it. If you search that location, it can tell you information as far as what's around it or the restaurant itself. So that's something that you can do with visual intelligence. Maybe if you're outside in front of a landmark, you want to know more information about it, you can use ask or search, or even order or look at the menu of a restaurant if you're out using that. So it's a really great feature, and I hope they add even more to it in the future. Now, there are some features that are coming in the future that Apple actually promised with the initial release of iOS 18. There should be a Siri 2.0 version that is more intelligent and uses context of what's on your display to understand what you're looking at and give you more information about it. For example, maybe you need to pick up a relative from a flight as they're coming into town for maybe the holiday season. It can actually understand multiple things, from an airline ticket within mail to an actual schedule or conversation you've had. And when you ask Siri, what time do I need to pick up my mother this holiday, it could know exactly what you're talking about. This is something that is taking them more time to finish, so we should see that probably sometime next year or possibly 2026. So that's something that's coming with Apple Intelligence, and I would expect many more features to be added in the future. But at this time, those are the big features with iOS 18.2, and ChatGPT and Visual Intelligence do some things I wasn't expecting them to do. So it seems to be getting smarter and smarter, but at this time, it seems like it's one of those things that's sort of still in the works. Image Playground, I think for me personally, is a little bit of a disappointment, and I want to know what you think about it, as this is something that we've been able to do with different services from Google and ChatGPT and maybe Grok, for example. They just have incredible image creation tools. So these are sort of cartoony or sketches. Let me know what you think about that compared to the others. Is that the right move, or should Apple allow us to make more realistic photos as well? Now, I also would expect some big changes with iOS 18.3, iOS 18.4, and iOS 19 well into the future. So we'll probably see quite a few Apple Intelligence updates. Now, of course, we'll get updates that are not Apple Intelligence as well. And if you want separate videos, maybe where we have this separated into Apple Intelligence, maybe one without Apple Intelligence, let me know in the comments below. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.